Hello everyone and welcome back to my kitchen. So today I'm going to share something that many of you may not have even realized is carnivore. And it's just in time for the Super Bowl. It's a Super Bowl goodie. I'll be sharing two ways to make this next treat. The first, using my air fryer, and the second, using my deep fat fryer and with duck fat. Now, you don't have to have a deep fat fryer. You can use a pan, but you will need some sort of animal fat to deep fat fry them to make it the healthiest way. Let's go take a look at the ingredients. For the air fried version, I'll be using my air fryer. Of course, we need mushrooms. And I keep buttermilk powder on hand because I just don't use buttermilk that often. So I'll reconstitute this to make buttermilk, but you can use buttermilk from the store, of course. Eggs, protein powder, glycine, and pork dust, pork panko, pork rind crumbs. And then whenever I fry things in the air fryer and I want to make sure that they get super crispy, I use duck fat spray. So that's also another tool in my carnivore toolbox. So let's go get started with this fun.
I begin by rinsing the mushrooms and trimming the stems. And then gently patting them dry. Before heating up my air fryer, I remove the basket and place it on a silicone mat on the counter for easier cleanup. Then, turn on the air fryer to air crisp, 360 degrees. I typically start out with about 7 minutes. I don't think that's going to be enough time, but we'll start there anyway. These are some big mushrooms. Now we'll get down to the nitty-gritty. I take the whey protein powder and mix in the glycine, pour a little bit of buttermilk into 1 egg, and stir it up thoroughly. You don't want to make it too runny. This will help the pork rind crumbs stick to the mushroom. Toss it in, roll it around. I've found that the more protein powder you put on there, the more crispy bits you get. Then into the egg buttermilk mixture. It takes a little bit of rolling around for the egg to kind of soak in, but it does. And then it's ready for the pork rind crust bath. Now it's time to roll them around in that dust. It's getting a little crowded. Time to start putting them in the pan. All systems go. Now for a spritzing of duck fat spray, and into the air fryer they'll go. And yes, at 7 minutes they still need some time. I'll add another 3 minutes for a total of 10. Oh my goodness, perfection. Those look super crispy. Time to dig in. My carnivore ranch dip is the perfect accompaniment. Look how thick that delicious high-protein batter is. Now for the taste. It's really good, but I forgot the salt. Next, on to the deep fat frying method. I add the xanthan gum to the whey protein powder, also baking powder, as well as glycine. Then I use a fork just to stir it all together. Trying to set myself up for as little cleanup as possible, I move everything to the silicone mat. Then, I pour just a little bit of water in and begin stirring to incorporate the water into the whey mixture. When it starts to get a little bit incorporated and a little bit too thick to stir, I add a little bit more water. It slowly all comes together. Just a little bit of water each time. I like to have my batter very thick, so I go very slow because you can always add more, but you can't take away. That's the exact consistency I like. Very thick. Cover the mushroom in all of the batter, and then I use a toothpick to pick it up and twirl it into the pork rind dust. See how thick that stuff is? Again, the more batter, the more crispy stuff. And since it's not grains, we don't have to worry about any ill effects on our health. Don't forget to take out the toothpicks before you put it in the deep fat fryer. All ready for the duck fat bath. I fry 1 minute on each side. One more minute and I get to dig in. Look at all those delicious extra crispy bits. You can see the difference here. There's much more batter on these mushrooms that are deep fried versus the air fried. These are my very, very favorite out of the two different ways to make them.